Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Enjoying Black Powder on Forgotten Weapons. I'm Ian McCollum, and of course Tom is joining me today, and we have, as you may be able to tell by my angry Prussian hat, a German rifle.
Indeed, and not only is it a German rifle, it is the first magazine rifle that we are featuring on this program.
Ach mein Gott!
Yes, it is a secret Wunderweapon.
Yes, this is the Mauser Model 71/84. And it's essentially, the Germans saw the effect of repeating rifles at places like Plevna and went, boy, that looks nice.
Oh yeah.
We should do that. Let's take our Mauser 71 and just stuff a magazine in it.
And there
Why
you
not?
go. Yeah.
So it is, fundamentally, it's a Kropatschek style of magazine. So there's a tube underneath. Interestingly, like the one really visually distinctive element here is this stacking rod. It's on there because there is no longer a cleaning rod on the gun, because where the cleaning rod would normally have gone under the barrel is now full of cartridge magazine. Now, some people went and put a cleaning rod on the side, namely the French. The Germans just decided, we don't need it. So the magazine goes all the way out there, and then we've got an elevator style lifter here that pushes down, pulls around out of the magazine tube, pops up, and allows you to chamber it. Typical of systems like this, we have a cutoff here. So this allows you to use the magazine. This locks the elevator in the upward position, which means it functions as a single loader, keeping the magazine in reserve for when the French show up.
Exactly. Yeah, the idea was traditionally use it as a single shot rifle until order given, engage magazine, fire, and then let loose. I've actually shot this rifle at a 2-gun match, and for the majority of it, I was using it as a single shot rifle, until the instances where I was like, oh, it's going to be really awkward to load, at which point engage the magazine and still lose anyway because it's a 2-gun match and I'm shooting black powder.
Still, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think I want to point out, there's an element here of people poo-pooing the idea of the magazine cutoff and the idea that, oh, everyone's going to blow through their ammo so quickly. But the military doctrine at this time was essentially that units fired in volleys on specific command. And there was a really good example I saw from a British expedition in South Africa, where the concern was, they're weeks away from any sort of resupply. They've got the ammo that's in the ammo wagon, and that's about it. And anytime an enemy unit were seen, this was the Anglo-Zulu War, the British would see a unit of Zulu and have to decide, are they close enough to engage? If they are, how many rounds is it worth expending at that enemy? Of the X rounds I've got in the wagon, how many do I use now? Because maybe we'll run into a unit 5 times that size that's going to just overrun us, and we need the ammo for that. And so that was this area where having a commander keep a logistical strategic control over the ammo expenditure really made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
When the factory's 10,000 miles away by sailing ship. Anyway, so we're going to do some shooting with this, and then we're going to do a time trial with it as well. And our time trial on this series historically has been 7 rounds, load and fire.
Right.
What are we doing with magazine guns?
We're going to do the same sort of thing, 7 rounds. So for this and other guns that have capacities higher than 7, we're going to load them up to 7. For guns that have less than 7, we're going to load them up to full, fire them, and then load to 7.
Okay.
So to try and keep it as apples to apples as possible, even though that's not really possible because this is technologically much more advanced than, say, the rolling block.
And we're going to start with the magazine empty.
Yes.
So this will be we'll be testing the magazine loading, handling, as well as the actual firing. All right, I want to see how this shoots.
Let's find out.
We had a really good time with the regular Mauser 71.
And this is basically that, and then some.
Yeah,
it's a good sequel, hopefully.
It's the same action, just with a magazine. So I'm going to go ahead and put some rounds in the mag. We just drop them down the elevator there, and then push them in until they click. There's a little stop to hold rounds in. There we go. And you get to do a sort of double bolt action to get the first round back out onto the elevator, like so. All right, and then eject the round. Next one is in the elevator lifted up, ready to chamber. Well, that was me. Ooh, that is a nice rifle.
Yeah, luckily they never really saw a huge amount of combat action because they were basically made obsolete after 2 years of service by the French introducing smokeless.
The French doing it again.
And so a lot of the ones that are surplus, like this one, are in great shape because they basically were made. Look at these fancy new rifles. Oh, no, they're obsolete. In the stores.
There kind of weren't any huge wars during the whole time that Kropatschek actions were the predominant military issue rifle. I do also have to notice that this is shorter and handier than the 71. They cut it down like 6 inches.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure why. It may have been that the entire world was transitioning to shorter rifles because the whole fire in line was becoming more and more outdated.
You don't need 3 ranks back to front if your first rank has 8 rounds in the magazine.
True.
Yeah, give it a try. See what you think.
All right, let's turn on the magazine cutoff and treat it like a single shot for a bit. You know, as a single shot rifle, it's fantastic. I mean, the action's nice and smooth. The ejection, as you've seen, kicks it far enough out.
Energetic. Yeah, that is nice.
And I mean, the sights are perfectly crisp. I'm not traditionally a big fan of this type of sight, but they're on, they work. The sights are clean and cut. I mean, so far, it's pretty good.
Look at this. Classic military conservatism. Has magazine rifle, uses it as single shot. Oh, there we go. All right.
All right, let's try a little faster.
There you go. Nice.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, you want to see how it handles if we're, say, behind a barricade?
Let's do it. All right, so if I'm taking cover behind a barricade here, I think what I'm going to do is stay out of sight and load some rounds in the magazine, which is nice and easy to do, especially if I've got it up close and I can keep an eye on what I'm doing. Then I'm going to take my last round and let's see. So I pull the bolt back, that'll pop the elevator up, and I can run my first round in. When the bolt closes over, that's when it releases a round from the magazine to pop out into the lifter. Oh, we're going to get this thing hot.
Yeah, I've noticed, even as a lefty, because you have that magazine in reserve, you're not having to like open the bolt, extract, grab a round out of pouch, throw it in. You're able to get a good rate of fire.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's because I don't have to do this extra motion of holding the rifle in one hand while finagling another round into it. That's going to be dangerously hot very quickly.
Ah.
Are you doing 2 at a time?
Nah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man. 1888 Tactical right there.
And go for the gong.
Very nice.
Woo! So it's good standing. It's good behind a barricade. That is actually getting quite warm.
Yes, I think we should forego the prone and let's go straight to the time trials before we melt this thing.
Let's go.
And I'm excited. I want to try this.
All right. Starting rifle fully empty.
Yep.
Loading 7 rounds.
Yep.
Firing 7 rounds.
Right. And 7 rounds into the tube. No ghost loading. No one on the lifter. Just 7 into the mag, 7 out of the mag.
Sounds good.
All right.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Stand by.
Beep. Oh, he's going 2 at a time. No. Oh, that's going to kill me.
5.
I did it again.
6. 7.
Did I do 8?
I lost count. Well, we'll figure out where it went in there.
I bet
but
you're wondering, did I shoot 7 rounds or 8 or 6?
Yeah.
To be honest, I kind of lost track myself.
Well, either way, the total time was around 45 seconds, which is still less than some of the rifles we've shot here, I think.
So I fumbled up the loading twice,
Yeah.
significantly. And especially if I accidentally loaded 8 rounds, which I might have, then, whoops.
Yeah.
All right, your turn. I do want to also point out, this has a heavier stock on it than the 71.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that concerned about accidentally, it's like my thumb slipping onto the barrel and melting to it. All right, you were at like 33 seconds.
That's not bad.
That's quite good. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little weird. That's like the same time you had on the Mauser 71.
For the same amount of ammunition expended.
Right.
Yeah.
But what that brings up is the benefit of these guns wasn't so much that they had a higher rate of fire overall. It was the first 8, in the case of this thing, the first 8 rounds are available immediately on tap at a very high cadence.
Exactly. That, like, there's a whole horde of French cavalrymen coming over that hill.
Right.
Whoop. And here we go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. I feel bad that I both fumbled it and then I overdid it. I loaded 8 and then fired 8 and my time kind of sucks as a result. But
Still comparable to a lot of the other ones we're shooting at the time, so not bad.
it is. It is. And I think it's interesting to really highlight the fact that your overall rate of fire with one of these tube repeaters isn't actually any faster once you get beyond the magazine capacity.
Yeah.
So where we will, I suspect, see a substantial difference is when we get actions where you can load multiple rounds with one thing.
That sounds a little advanced.
I'm sure we'll get there at some point. We have top men working on that technology right now. All right, now this is chambered for 43 Mauser.
Correct.
11 millimeter Mauser, I should say. Same thing, but 11 millimeter Mauser is the typical designation. Unfortunately, we can't show you how to make 11 millimeter Mauser here on YouTube, but we can over on the History of Weapons and War streaming app. So if you would like to see the second half of this video where we dive into how to make 43 Mauser, 11 millimeter Mauser, so that you can shoot some of these really cool surplus, readily available guns, well, head over to History of Weapons and War. There's a link in the description text below. It is a subscription-only app that supports a whole host, 8 different channels of historical, educational firearms content. Hopefully, we'll see you over there. Thanks for watching.